my ideal would be that elephants are not used in Chitwan at all anymore, but that's not an option. So I think we look at what is the best scenario that we can do. What is the best we can do? It's always because of us. We are the disruption in nature. We are the only species that does not coexist. So I think one of the reasons people are so attracted to elephants is that we do see, it's a bit of a mirror. We kind of see ourselves a little bit, and actually probably we see what we'd like to be. They are what we would like to be. They have this energy about them that if you open your heart just a little bit, they're just in. They just come right in. And they will be there with you. They will teach you anything you need to learn. You just have to let them in. And even through all their suffering, they'll still be kind and help you. And all the while, all that time, they're suffering. And now you have to leave.
Having worked with actors for many years, it's hard for me to believe that anyone would have to be dragged kicking and screaming into show business. But for the elephants with Ringling Brothers and other circuses, that's exactly what happens.
They're used as an entertainment. They're used as a vehicle. They're just used, and they're not appreciated for who they really are. The number of safaris they do depends on how many people are standing in line, how many people want to ride.
When you get involved with elephants, we all have the intention of we're going to be able to help, but we don't quite realise how bad some of these elephants have it. These elephants have lost I think they've lost their dignity.
I've been in Nepal now for 44 years. I was driven here by my father when I was 6 months old. The reason I've got to the point of wanting to change from elephant safaris and to go chain-free is effectively my elephants 5 years ago were moved out of the jungle. They were in the middle of Chitwan National Park, and then they were moved out of the jungle onto my property. And when I saw them chained on my property, I felt very uncomfortable with them in that environment.
Restricted, extremely restricted. Elephants roam for huge distances, and when they're on a chain all the time, there is nothing to their life. They are just standing in one spot, and I wouldn't like that. I can't imagine that any other creature would enjoy that experience.
They're hypersensitive, not like us. They hear and feel everything, including vibrations that come up through the ground.
And with that soft squishy pad, that's the section that they can feel all the vibrations through the ground, so they can feel things from kilometres away, which is quite fascinating.
So if you think about an elephant that's living in a zoo or an amusement park where there's a lot of activity, amusement park especially, that has vibration in the ground, those elephants are picking up that vibration continually.
So I just think they're frustrated because people don't listen to them. And if you've been around an elephant, there is that connection and they listen to us. So when people don't listen to them, I think sometimes it's the last straw.
We're limited smart. You know, we're this smart. We're like this. But we've let go of this part. It's just the sense of self, sense of every other living thing around us, the knowing that that tree right there is alive. Elephants know all of this, and they're just trying to teach us. We can't even comprehend the degree to which they feel and sense and understand, because we don't feel and sense and understand at the same high level that they do. Intelligent is one thing. Really connected in a sense way, sensing yourself, sensing everything around you, that's higher than intelligence, you know? And their emotional connection to their families and their world is very complicated. It's very evolved. I think humans are still here and elephants are here.
She understands that for the people who live in these countries, this is their livelihood, and you know, they need to be able to take care of their elephants, so they need money, so there needs to be some kind of income. However, if she can make their lives a little bit better and the elephants' lives easier, then that's what she's going to do.
I live in two worlds now. I live in the world in the USA, and I live in the world of Nepal. How did they get loose to stay in the jungle? When I am in Nepal, I am fully 100% here. I wake every morning going, what time are we going to do foot trimming? What elephants are we going to do? I'm very excited because of the communication barrier. I have a very, very good close friend in Kirin. He is vet tech and my fellow foot trimmer. He'll call me and I'll say, where are we going next? And I can't understand a word he says. That's exciting to me, to just, you know, be in the moment and try to figure it out. Every morning when I wake up in the USA, there is one thing that is on my mind, and that is Tara. And my life with Tara. And when will that come back? When will we be together again? So I spend my day working towards that goal. At the same time, making sure that I'm doing good work for other elephants. So I'm making plans for Nepal, trying to develop new programs for Nepal. But I am absorbed knowing that I want to know when Tara and I are back together. This still Indian order? No. I lost my sunglasses. Okay. To the medicine, yeah.
If their feet aren't looked after, they can have it can have such an impact throughout their entire body. You imagine, that weight being put on their four feet and just not taking care of their feet yeah. I don't want to think about what can happen because I've seen it.
We've been invited by the government to develop and implement a mahout training program. One where the mahouts are taught how to manage elephants in a compassionate way, as per our Compassionate Elephant Care Program. This is a huge commitment because it's not something that you come in and do a workshop for a week. That's not how it works. You actually have to develop the curriculum, set up the instructors, have a classroom type setting first to teach the philosophy, and specifically the Chief Warden said to me he wants me to teach the mahouts how to make a heart-to-heart connection with the elephants.
Wow.
They're hearing, they're listening. Okay, now you're going to rest. It's always exhausting. You exhaust yourself. So you trim a little, and then come back in a week. Trim again, force the blood to go back. See? And the blood. See, and the thing is, by this age, they have been dominated for decades. They have no desire to cooperate. And he's not hitting her because I'm standing here. But that's all they do is hit them. So there's not a cooperative relationship. You know. Oh, it doesn't hurt. So unless they are afraid of being hit while they're down, because that's vulnerable, or if you trim wrong and you hurt them, that's the only reaction you have. Otherwise, they just relax. That was my fun. All right, fine. Off we go. Oh, thank you, Sandamala.
Good job, girl.
Does that itch on my ear?
Girl. Just scratching her.
A little better.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I need a shower. They start training these babies. If the mother, delivers like has happened now with Pujan Kali, that little elephant is going to be trained really soon. I first met Tara when I was in my first year of college in California in an exotic animal training program. I was really interested in the connection that you can make with a wild animal and amazed by the ability to communicate to them and they understand. When I met Tara, it was just a fluke. It was just a chance. And it turned out that she lived a few blocks away, and so I immediately volunteered my time and started taking care of her first. And of course my motivation was to train her. And I did train her. And I trained her through operant conditioning, which is positive reinforcement, because that's what I knew, because I had trained dogs before.
I'm Steve Solano.
And I'm Phyllis Guerini.
And this is Tara. Welcome to tonight's show.
We were performing by that time together as a team, and we lived together. We were family. I adore her. I always have adored her.
On Ojai 84. Welcome. We're here in the mountains of Ojai with Carol Buckley, the owner and trainer of the world's only roller skating elephant, right?
Right.
How long have you had this Tara?
Well, I've been with her since she was about 2 months old. She's 10 years now. And I bought her when she was about 2.5 years old.
What inspired you to get an elephant?
No inspiration.
But my approach to her and my sensitivity to her has changed over the years. And it has to do with maturity. As I grew up and really gained a respect for her and understood what elephants are all about, I changed my approach. I changed my approach all the way from performing in circuses with her to creating an elephant sanctuary for her. And all of that, on that journey, the journey has been together. Tara and my journey has always been together. And she is my mentor. I mean, she's the one who's taught me everything. So in the beginning, I was very controlling and domineering. It had to be my way. And that was a reflection of the industry that I was working in at the time, which is circus. Big area, fenced in. The elephant swim, or mud hole, dusting, playing, eating. And the tourists pay to just come and watch.
Carol very much, because I feel she's pragmatic.
It's better for
Yeah, it's
elephant?
very pleasure.
Yeah, and yeah, the people like more.
Yeah.
It touches their heart because they're touching the elephant, they're looking in the elephant's eye.
Yeah, yeah.
The elephant is looking back
Yeah, yeah.
instead of up here, riding.
Yeah,
You don't see the elephant.
Yeah.
You see the jungle, but you don't see the elephants.
So she's practical in that sense that she's got her goal of where she wants to go, being quite an extreme view, which I like. But on the way, she understands that there's practical things to look after to get to that point.
We were never totally accepted because I didn't do things with Tara the way that they did. So I wasn't traditional. They kept elephants on 2 chains, I kept Tara on 1. They would never take their elephants off, to just take them to play and exercise, and Tara and I went off playing every day.
We're from Nepal. We are from Kathmandu. Kathmandu, Nepal.
For some it's first time, for some it's multiple times.
We did elephant ride.
We did elephant ride and we had an opportunity to see so many animals.
Wild animals.
Wild animals, that's good.
We have to change all the things, you know, it's like for the animal, for the activities, you know, we have to change.
These elephants are up and ready to work at 6 a.m. So many of them, you know, have a situation where their sleep patterns are disturbed.
And there is another, you know, if people, they like to see the nature, there is option. Jungle walk, jeep safari, canoe. No. So they can do that, except, I mean, the elephant safari.
But if they were to have only 2 people on,
You can't make money.
but if you have to come back for the next 2 and the next 2 and the next 2.
But international knowledge is that any amount of load on an elephant's back is not appropriate because they're not designed to carry weight on their back. They're designed to carry weight below their spine. And that you look at them, they have this huge weight that's hanging down from their spine. So when you put weight on their back, it's contrary to how they were designed. So truly, no weight is acceptable on their back.
I feel for me like we've been treating the elephants really well. It's always been one of our criteria at Tiger Tops is make sure the elephants are treated well. But I feel now it's an opening of consciousness, of understanding that the elephants need a lot better treatment, they need even further. They need even up to a psychological level of thinking of how they're feeling and how they're thinking and to make their lives even better.
This is protected animal.
Right.
So we cannot make a business oriented.
Shouldn't, yeah.
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 So maybe slowly we have to
A new way.
go new way and
New way.
changing for
Yeah.
tourism in
Yeah.
different way.
I guess it's been about 5 years thinking about it, and the last 2 years speaking to Carol about it. And finally, now, I have to get to a position where I'm thinking out of the box.
This small model, like maybe 5 or 10 elephant,
Right.
one model.
Right.
Maybe everybody will follow us.
Of course.
So like
Of
something
course they
like
will.
this, yeah.
Because you will become popular because you will be the only one.
Yeah.
So everyone will be talking about, oh, did you hear about this place?
Yeah.
Others will hear and go, oh, we want to do the same thing.
Strangely, when they were chained up in the jungle, I never had that uncomfortable feeling. I think because there was never a fence around them, and they were in their jungle, and there were wild animals walking in between their pens and through them every night, so it was not such a big issue. Whereas when I saw them outside, with the fence around them, and then chained, and then I just felt really awkward.
So where's the abscess? That front leg. I don't know which leg. Front foot. It's just on the outside, of course. Knees are bad. Yeah. Hip has a big wound in it. Back nail's overgrown horribly. She's got that rope upper butt, so that tissue is being damaged. But her elbow here is a. Will they listen to advice? Do they want to know?
No. So maybe we start today.
Right.
If they don't listen today, maybe tomorrow we start.
Okay.
After tomorrow.
Okay.
Then we just
try. And make suggestions. So yeah.
Try our best.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Everything is bully. She needs help right now. She needs to be prevented from doing anything else that's going to harm her. I mean, a house right next to your fence.
Yeah, no, there's no one next to us.
Good. You've
Yeah,
got
and we're up
bamboo
on the
growing.
hill.
What do you call that? Not guest houses.
Yes, it's
but
270 degrees drops off.
Yes.
So it's only
Yeah.
behind us that's
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and then the rest drops
Yes,
off.
drops off.
Yeah, well, even on that side, behind the elephant.
Right.
And then this
Yeah.
side. Yeah. Yeah. So it's basically owning this hill.
A lot to work with.
Get in that corner. Let's just walk to that corner. And then... The lake.
Well, I was going to ask, is there a way that we could make a permanent water feature?
Yeah, we've done that.
Okay, so that's
down
it.
to the bottom, and then that becomes like a lake.
That's perfect. A feature. That's what this is, the water feature right here. Okay, and then this right here. This is the road. This is the road. That's the road. Okay, so this is we came out of the gate.
Yeah.
And we walked this road.
Public road.
Okay. 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 All right.
When you walk down here, when you walk that little steep part here, there's a road.
Oh yeah, underneath.
Underneath that.
We might talk about designing an area where if an elephant is not well, there's a shelter and a place where she can be treated or whatever, and she can come in. It won't be a tight area. She won't have to be chained. It'll be chain free. So why is she tightening here? Why would she tighten here unless this infection was all the way to the bone? Or maybe the surgery cut the muscle or something?
That's what we think.
Yeah, that it cut the muscle. I can only tell you the conditions that I'm seeing. If you look from the back in the first place, the base of her spine, just before where her tail starts, that white part, that's scarring. It's all scar tissue. But the width, it's raised up, that's unnatural, and it's very wide, which is scar tissue. So that is where mahouts will turn around and hit the elephant with something very hard and continually traumatize that tissue in that area. She's got an open wound on her hip. It's called a pressure wound. That's when an elephant lays down on a surface that's too hard and it actually causes an abscess, like a bed sore. Hers, you can see the hole in it. So it's been abscessed and draining. You go down to her feet and her toes are overgrown. Move up the base of her stomach and you see these funny ridges on her stomach. I have no idea what those are, but that's not normal. It looks like tracking. I don't know what that is. Then see where the rope is? You see all the skin that's pink and kind of, well, not healthy looking? That's all scarring from putting the rope underneath there and continually traumatizing. Her right elbow is abscessed. You'll see it's sticking out a little bit. And you can see the part of the flesh that's abscessed. And there's something going on with the rim of her ear. Just a few inches along the edge of her ear there, there's something red. Now, it could be paint. I don't know if it's what it is, but there's something like barnacles growing on there. And then as she turns around, you'll see that this right front foot, there's a problem with the right front toe. But the worst part is her left front leg at her wrist. Her wrist has been shifted. So probably there was a rope on her leg maybe when she was a baby, and it shifted it. So now her foot, instead of standing straight like this foot is facing this way. It's facing out all the time. That's damage to that wrist there, and it has to cause her pain. If you look at the top of her head, there's oil on her head that covers up the wounds and things, but you can see some scarring on her forehead, some scabby areas, that's from being hit. Well, also this knee, look at her right back knee. You see how it's kind of hanging like a bag? Okay, that's water on her knee. That's injury to her knee. So I mean, basically, we've only looked at one side of this elephant, and she's a wreck. You know? And they're going to use her for rides with tourists. So tomorrow we actually have to go with the elephants to where they're going, grass cutting?
Yeah.
Okay, so
to that end.
And this is something that's like a 2-hour?
I think it's a 2-hour.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. See the eye, how white? It's all white. She can't see through that eye. There's different reasons for that. A lot of times the mahouts will actually hit the eye when they're correcting the elephant, or shove something in the eye to be dominant over them. There's really no part of her that hasn't been impacted by neglect. New here, brand new, came from India. How many days ago did this elephant come?
Around 15 days.
15 days ago, walked from India. They bought her in this condition. If she's not 60, she's close. It's just so sad to see. And this elephant came in 2 weeks ago. She came in from India. It is illegal for an elephant to leave India. It's also illegal for an elephant to come into Nepal. So 2 country laws have been broken for this elephant to arrive here. And it's one of the most beautiful, brand new, largest hotels with 2 discotheques. All this money into this building, and they buy this poor, old, crippled elephant to do rides with. And probably one of these mahouts has been with her for years and years and years, and he doesn't know any better. You know, this is his job. When they open their heart to the elephant will come right in, and it will make all the difference, you know, in their lives. You know? But it's just a process, changing tradition. I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to write a formal, if he's not there, I'm writing a formal complaint. I will tell him what my complaint is. I will come back again tomorrow.
Okay, you go then.
Buckley, I'd like to speak to the owner.
Owner? Yes. There is no owner now. It's outside.
Okay. When will you return?
Don't know.
Can I speak with the manager?
Yes. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
You will meet my owner.
Oh, I want to.
Yes,
I want to, because her condition is dire. You know, dire means very bad.
Very bad.
Her condition is very, very bad. So I'm happy to hear that you didn't purchase her.
Yes, no, we did purchase, yes. We got a
I appreciate you giving him this message,
Yes,
and tell him that I'll just wait for his call because I would like to come and discuss with him. The issue of elephant welfare is becoming more international, and there's a lot of pressure in Asia, so in India, in Thailand, and here in Nepal, because all these elephants are being used for safaris, and unfortunately, most of the elephants are not healthy. And the public is starting to see, and they're starting to react, and these owners that have elephants, they have them to generate, you know, an income, and they need to find a way to do it where it doesn't harm the elephant. So I would like to speak to him and give him some ideas.
Yes, I will.
Okay, all right, thank you. That stereotypic behavior, it's a coping mechanism for stress. You do not see it in wild elephants at all. It's a captivity-induced behavior. And they'll rock back and forth, bob their head. It's their way of coping with the insanity of the boredom. I mean, he's on chains 24 hours a day. Just like us, we're all really one big family. We're just decades later. But I think elephants still always retain that knowledge of knowing their connectedness to this big existence that we're part of. But I think humans, we pull ourselves outside of it. We think we're outside of nature. So we make ourselves outside. And we act in ways that are disruptive and disrespectful.
Tiger Talks made a big change from stopping shooting tigers. So we were shooting tigers, and then we had a massive conscious awakening. And it was not only us, it was a worldwide movement that conservation was needed in the late 60s, early 70s, where before that it didn't exist. No one actually knew we were doing anything bad. And then as soon as we realized we were doing something bad, we stopped shooting tigers immediately, and we started elephant safaris. Right? Then, and showing the guests the jungle through the elephants. And now I feel as if it's a second conscious awakening where I still want to show the guests the jungle and so on, but I want, instead of seeing it from on top of an elephant, you're experiencing it from the elephant's view, from how the elephant is in its environment, and then seeing the bigger picture through the elephant.
They may not know that they would like to change, but when they see how fun it is, how rewarding it is to work with elephants that want you to be around, that's the thing that changes you. You realize we're around elephants because we want to be. These mahouts are around elephants because it is their culture, but also because they want to be. They could go get another job being a laborer. Once they see that they can be with elephants and not have the hardship of everyday dominance and having to hit the elephant and yell at the elephant and not be friends with the elephant, once they learn that there is actually a way to do that, I know that they'll excel. Because you see these mahouts with the young baby elephants, brand new baby elephants, and these mahouts melt. They just melt. They're just petting the baby and just so excited about the baby, and then they turn to the adult and they yell at her and they hit her. Well, mostly because she's resistant to being told what to do. She doesn't want to do it. She's not going to do it anymore. So when they see that they can actually have an elephant, work with the elephant is interested in doing what they want to be done, they want them to do, they can actually form a strong bond with the elephant at that time, and then their job can be fun instead of just labor intensive and them always screaming and yelling and hitting. Hi, Buckley! Always free. She's retired. And she looks so good now. When she almost died, she was skin and bones, and they were still using her for safaris. And you know what is so interesting is prior to her being retired, the mahouts just couldn't even give her an inch. You know, the dominance is so intense that everything, you know, you have to walk faster, you have to turn left faster, you have to do all this. The minute she was retired, it was like, okay, she's not our job anymore.
I think, you know, speaking to Carol, myself thinking and reading other other things, having a feeling about it, but I think this is a movement in the world. I think this is the way the world is going.
If I had had mentors who had talked to me about elephant psychology, who had a really good relationship with their elephant, who loved their elephant because she was an elephant, not because she was a performer or not because she was a money maker. If I had been around anybody who talked about elephants the way I do now, I wouldn't have had to go through that whole experience. But there wasn't anybody talking about elephants this way. I never heard any of this before. In fact, I heard the opposite. I heard the absolute opposite, and I'm telling you, most people who have been around elephants, they've heard the exact opposite as well. So you don't have to have the same experience for 20 years of dominating elephants and making them perform and doing all of that. You don't have to have that experience to know that elephants can be treated well and they will respond well you can have a relationship with him, that you do not have to dominate elephants for them to do what you want them to do. It doesn't take 20 years experiencing all this horrible stuff to learn in the end it's not necessary. And I think that the more that people will talk about their experiences with elephants and share the knowledge that they have gained through a lifetime with elephants, that will speed up the learning curve for the rest of the people that are coming up. There are young people every day taking a job in a zoo working with elephants. They're only hearing the old stuff. They're not hearing the new stuff. They need to, because if they do, that will have an impact on how they work with their elephant, the demands they make on their administration, on what can be done with the elephant. Otherwise, they won't ask for change because they don't know change is possible.
Stick that hook in them sometimes. When you hear that screaming, then you know you've got their attention a little bit. I hear the ball. I do it on the road. Fuck to do it again. I'm not going to touch it. Oh, he's going to fucking do it like that. That's just fucking weird. Make him holler. Let him run them down. Come on, that's the boss. I do it.
It is, you know, the projects that we are doing in these areas are educating the locals that we will pay good money to come and visit your place if you are kind to your animal. So we do, I guess we're doing the positive reinforcement kind of thing. So we actually work with the mahouts who don't do that kind of treatment and who actually look after their elephants and take them off the chains and walk them in the jungles, and, you know, we'll treat them with kindness and respect.
See, I know that the mahouts will be able to make this transition so gracefully. They just need the information. It's all. They're working in a traditional way. They're doing what they're told. They're doing what they know. You give them more information, they have a set of skills that is invaluable. They know how to be around elephants without any protection whatsoever. And they make demands on these elephants, which is pretty intense. So you take that skill set and you combine it with an elevated recognition of what is possible. These mahouts are just going to be like gold. It's going to be great. I think there's a big difference in the experience when you ride on top of an elephant or you take a selfie with an elephant. What people get out of that is very, very different than what people say they get out of sitting back and observing an elephant. And it's almost spiritual, what you get when you sit back and just watch them. Let them do what they're doing. No expectation that they're doing anything for you, because they're not. And just be a part of their life for just a moment.